Hi everyone. Today I'd like to show you how you can checkmate your opponent when you have two knights on the board and they have just a king. So I'll just answer the question right now. Is it possible to checkmate with two knights and your opponent only having a king? The answer is yes, it's possible, but it can't be forced. So it's basically a theoretical draw because anyone who knows what they're doing won't fall for the two knights checkmate. I'll show you the two knights checkmate. This is how it looks. So the only way this is possible is if your opponent takes their king to the corner, which no one will do if they know how to play chess, even in the slightest. But I'll show you something that is forced and that is possible. That is checkmate with two knights when your opponent has one pawn. And what I'm going to show you is a game between Sergey Karjakin and Sevan. And here Karjakin really shows us how you can checkmate with two knights. So while checkmating with two knights versus one pawn, there are some basic principles you need to follow to make sure you can checkmate them. One of them is you should be able to put your knight behind their pawn. So that's what Karjakin does first. He puts his knight behind their pawn so the pawn can't promote. And another thing is, you are never able to capture the pawn, because if you do capture the pawn, it's immediately a draw. So to maximize winning chances, you always have to keep the pawn over there. Now the next step to this checkmate is to create a wall and take as many squares away from the black king as possible. So that you can limit the places the king can go and you can corner it. So I'll show you how Karjakin does that here. He goes king to f2, king to c3, attacking the knight, knight to d1 with check, king to d3, king to e1, and then you'll notice here that Karjakin is forcing the black king into a corner. He's not allowing the king to come forward or towards his pawn. Now you have king to c4, king to d2, king to d4, and then he creates another wall, not allowing the black king to come closer to the pawn. King to c4, knight to e2, keeping the wall, d5, king to c3, king to c5, king to f4. So as you can see, the main goal in this checkmate is to just force the king into a corner, and Karjakin is doing it very well here. King to c6, king to c4, king to d6, knight to d3, king to c6, knight to e5 check, king to d4, knight to e6, the wall is still there, knight to c4, knight to c4, king to f6, knight to e3, king to e6, knight to e5. You see, now the wall is in this side. The king has to stay in this box. Okay, king to d7, king to d5, king to c7, trying to get as far away from those knights as possible, but Karjakin doesn't allow it. King to d7, knight to e6, king to e7, knight to c5. Now we have very nice wall over here. f7, king to d6, knight c to e4, and this also comes with check. Plus, if you notice, there's a very nice wall over here. These three squares are covered by the king, these two squares are covered by the knight, and this one square is covered by these two squares actually are covered by the knight. King to f7, king to d7, king to f8, knight to d6, king to g7, king to e6, king to g6, knight to e4, knight d to e4. The wall is just getting smaller and smaller. The king has less and less squares as the time goes. King to g7, king to e7, king to g8, king to f7, king to h, knight to f5. King is basically cornered at this point, so you can just stop blocking the pawn. King to g8, king to e7, g3, trying to promote to a queen somehow. Plus you can't capture it because then it's immediately a draw. knight to f6 check, h8, and king to f8. And this is actually where Sevan resigns, but you'll see why he resigns, because the king can't move anywhere. The only thing that can move is the pawn, and all white needs to do at this point is just reroute the reroute the knight over here. That's exactly what I'm going to show you, and this is checkmate. Even though black has a queen on the board, this is just checkmate. Okay, thanks for watching. That's all. Bye.